Hey everybody, Quantum here, and in this video I wanted to give you a quick update on Dragon Link. We're going to take a look at the deck profile, then show you some practical applications, but there are definitely some interesting use cases for this deck, and it's only getting better in the future it seems, because first of all, it has a decent matchup into the meta now that Tempai is kind of going away. You can put up a lot of disruptions. You do lose to Maxi, so you got to play the Maxi minigame, Call by, Cross Out, Ash Blossom to beat it. But the deck is very strong, and we're also going to get even more extenders with Quick Launch going to 3 in the January 2025 ban list, as well as Wyber Burster being unlimited. Now, whether the deck will play more than one of this and one Black Dragon is still up for debate, but I think you will definitely go to 3 Quick Launch, since this is not once per turn, and it's just a fantastic extender for the deck anyways, and we need as many extenders as we can get. But recently, with the unbanning of Dragoon, I do think that this fits naturally into Dragon Link because you have some really strong ways to facilitate the play to get out Dragoon from your Black Metal Dragon, right? If you get Black Metal Dragon into rotation, which there's a number of different ways you can do this, because even off of Dragon Ravine, which you can search off of extra deck monster, which means it's always consistent to get to your hand. You Romulus, search for Dragon Ravine. Normally you send Abshrouder so that you can search for the Rocket Tracer, and then from the Boot Sector lots that you searched off of the Striker Dragon, you're able to special summon the Rocket Tracer for free and then get more extensions off of that. But you could also send off Dragon Ravine the Black Metal Dragon in order to revive it with Pisty and then get into your basically Red Eyes engine, and you link off the Black Metal, you then go search for Red Eyes Darkness Metal, right? Banish for Face of Dragon, special summon this card, revive back the Black Metal, link it off again, and then you search for Red Eyes Black Meteor in order to special summon the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon. You will then send Dark Magician, hopefully from your deck and not from your hand, into the graveyard, and this gets special summoned to the field. So you have a lot of different extenders, whether or not you want to go into the Rocket engine, which is probably the stronger engine, or the Red Eyes engine in order to get extra bodies on field. Both are decent, but the main reason why you'd want to extend into the Red Eyes engine is because instead of playing multiple bricks with the Red Eyes Fusion and the Red Eyes Black Dragon, and then having to play what's now limited to 1 Gamma and the Driver, you're playing 3 Vanillas in your deck if you do that. You guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like Driver. Like, how often does this come up, right? Quite often. I mean, people are still playing Driver with the 1 Gamma because they're also putting in Delta, which is also a great option. Delta is pretty good right now. But if you don't want to play all those vanilla bricks, I don't, you can do this route, and it has been working very well for me because you can play a card like Magicalized Fusion. Basically, once you get that Dark Magician into the graveyard, you're going to then be able to go into the Verte and then pay 2,000 life points, send the Magicalized Fusion, and then banish the Dark Magician and banish something else like any other dragon. So usually I just banish the Red Eyes Black Meteor, and then I get into my Dragoon play. And just like that, I have Dragoon on board, which is my OMNI-NEGATE. I may have made a Baron. I likely made a Dispatter as well. And maybe if I went into the Rocket engine, I went into a Borreload Savage. And usually you end on, especially if you go first, either Seal or the Borreload Dragon. Now, you do still get hurt by Super Poly. That's pretty much the only card that really devastates you. That, Droplet, and I guess that's really it, right? Droplet and Super Poly. But even so, you put up like a lot of disruption and a lot of negates. Like Dark Ruler, I guess, technically hurts you as well, but no one's really playing that right now. But yeah, you put up a really strong board, and this is just a great way to not brick and play the deck a little bit more consistently, play more meaningful cards, and then again, the deck is just more consistent overall. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into a match, and we can take a look at how the deck performs. So the nice thing about Dragon Link is there are so many different lines of play that you can go for, and even if you get disrupted, especially after the new ban list hits and you're able to play even more extenders, you can push through and still set up pretty strong boards. Again, breakable with certain board breakers, but still very powerful. Nonetheless though, here you can see on the start, we end up starting with the Bestial Lubellion to bait out Ash. No Ash on the opponent's side. We search Magnamut, and you don't always have to worry about summoning the Magnamut by banishing, especially if you don't want to banish like your Lubellion, or if you want to wait to banish to get your regained effect, because when you use Pisty, you can actually use the Magnamut in the graveyard, which you can discard off of the Dragon Ravine, which you'll see us do in this match, and then revive it with the Pisty in order to get the effect. But for right now, when you open up a Red Eyes, or not Red Eyes, but Black Metal Dragon and Lubellion, you get this combo, which is really powerful. When you link off Black Metal, you get the Red Eyes Darkness Metal, and then you'll be able to revive the black metal with the darkness metal, and then tribute the darkness metal for the Lubellion, set up your regain, and then link off black metal and Bestial Lubellion for the Romulus. This is so efficient because now you get a free setup of regain, you have tons of material in the graveyard for your Bestials if you need to use them, and you still get the searches off of black metal again and Romulus here. So we're going to get the Red Eyes Black Meteor Dragon and the Dragon Ravine. Next up, we're going to activate Ravine, and I don't need to activate this now, so not really sure why I did this here, but it's fine. We're going to go ahead and pitch the Dark Magician for the Red Eyes Black Meteor, which is basically putting live our Verte into the Magicalized Fusion play, so we can go into the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon if we wanted, but we're going to play it a little bit slow first. So we're going to go ahead and set up the White Dragon, banish the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon, and then off of the White Dragon being summoned, we link that into the Pisty here, and then White Dragon Search, Black Dragon. We haven't activated our regained effect. We're going to save it for when we use the Black Dragon to banish White Dragon, so that we can put back the White Dragon, so that when we link off Black Dragon, and here we're not going to go for the triple burst dragon, we're going to go for the second striker, so that we get the link zones or the arrows pointing to the one zone, because we're going to actually make a seal for turn 1. And the redraw is crazy. We draw into a hand trap, so we got Ash and Veiler for additional interruptions off of the regained draw there, and we get the search again off of Black Dragon into the White Dragon for follow-up or additional discard material. Like I just mentioned, Dragon Ravine, pitch the Bestial Lubellion, send the App Shrouder, search for Rocket Tracer, activate Pisty to revive the Magnuma that we pitched. Magnuma gets special summoned, therefore we activate the effect to search during the end phase. Now we're going to go ahead and link off into a Seals. So this makes you -2 on materials basically, right? Because we lose a link 2 and we lose a link 1, so that's 3 materials to make a link 2 that we're not going to link off. But since we have so much extension, so much gas, and the opponent is on no hand traps apparently, and you'll see why in just a moment, we can basically go full extension here. So we're going to go ahead and activate again one of our extenders in the Rocket Tracer, and now that we've made the seals, we can lock ourselves into dark by using the Tracer effect. Remember that Tracer will lock you into darks from the extra deck once you use the ability to pop, and we special summon out the Recharger here. Then because we've got the 6 Magnuma and the Tracer on board, we can go into the Dissipator effect, going to be able to revive the banished Darkness Metal. We're going to go ahead and activate Boot Sector Launch. In order to free up some zones here, we're going to do a Link 3 into the Triple Burst now, and this will allow us to use Boot Sector to special summon out the Tracer from hand. We link off the Dissipator here because we anticipate to have protection for the regain in order to bring it back when the opponent summons. So the Borderland will negate the Tracer to bring back the Recharger, and then instead of going for Verte, I opt to go for the Borreload Savage here, but you can do either one. The Dragoon play is generally better when you go second, since you have the ability to pop a monster as well as have a negate, whereas Borreload Savage saves you the materials and still gives you that OMNI-NEGATE without the need to discard, so we can keep our follow-up and our 2 hand traps. So our disruptions are when the opponent summons, regained effect, revive Bestial Dissipator, which for right now is a monster pop by returning the striker. If the opponent has a banished card, we can also do a monster negate there. We have an OMNI-NEGATE, so that's 2 disruptions if you count the regained and the Dissipator as 1. We get a Bestial Druis Worm to hand, which is a 3rd disruption for a banish to the opponent's graveyard, and we can do Borderland Negate, which is a 4th disruption. Borderland Negate will bring back the Recharge, or the Tracer, sorry, and then Tracer plus Druis Worm. We can use Tracer quick effect to pop Druis Worm to set, targeting send a monster on the field. So that's, I guess you could say, 5 disruptions. And then you have Seal Bounce, which is 6 disruptions. And then Ash and Veiler, 7 and 8 disruptions, right? Absolutely insane field. Even through a board breaker or multiple board breakers, like the opponent probably can't do too much to break this board. They start off with a Raigeki, which I'm going to opt to use my OMNI-NEGATE on, since I would just lose the Borreload anyways. Might as well keep up the Hieratic Seal, since the Borreland will not be destroyed by card effects. And here you can see why the opponent had no hand traps. They're a hero deck, so they're just probably all gas in their hand. But I think they realize that they're not going to be able to play through this board, and we have the disruptions and the summon off of the regain, and they just end up scooping after the turn 1. So in this matchup here, I'm going to be showing you how Dragon Link can push through a pretty oppressive board. Now we do have Max C, but I think we only end up going +2 off of it. The opponent here is going to be on the Toy Box White Forest deck, which is a very interesting deck to play. Two very good engines in combination with each other. They start off with the Toy Box to set the tank and the soldier, summon a Stellar, send the tank in order to special summon from the deck. We're going to chain the Max C, and this will give us a draw 2 if the opponent wants to complete the chain here. They opt to do it, so we get a draw 2. The Sylvie summons, searches out the woes, and the toy tank off of being sent gets summoned to the field here. Are they going to commit again? They set 3, go into a Visas Amatera, and I wanted to keep my Ash Blossom to negate the woes here, but I do fear the reframing, so I end up ashing the Visas Amatera here to prevent the reframing play. The opponent continues to special summon and go into a Silhouette Rabbit to grab the Azurine statue. So they give me like draw 3 there. So, you know, I start with 5, I'm only +2 by the end of it, and then I draw for turn. So it's nice. I should have enough gas to push through their board. We know that one of these set cards is a Toy Soldier. We have the Toy Tank in the graveyard. We know one of these set cards is also a Woes, and one of these is an Azurine statue. So we just have one card in hand and one card face down that we don't know about. Can we play through this? We should be able to, right? Pretty simple. We draw a black metal, so that's fine. All gas in our hand. We start off by baiting out the Ash with the Bestial Rebellion. I make the worst play here off of the Druid Worm. Literally, I didn't see the Stellar play because like I'm like, Woes isn't live. How are they going to get a leveled monster on field to do the Synchro play, right? Because they're going to go into Silvera to eclipse my field. But with the Azurine statue that they set off the Silhouette Rabbit, this is why they go for this line. The Azurine statue, Horn of Heaven effect basically, to negate an inherent summon, will trigger the Stellar. If you guys don't know this, you'll see this happen. Because the Azurine statue is a monster on the field, then it gets sent to the graveyard, and in the graveyard it's a trap. So it triggers the Stellar effect of when a trap is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect. And then the Stellar summoning to the field will be able to be played with the Woes in order to synchro and eclipse my field. So Bestial Druid Worm should have banished the Stellar and not the Sylvie. Also, the Toy Tank is a 1-of in the deck, so I could have also banished this and shut them off of half of their Toy Box engine. On the summon of Druid Worm though, they go for Skill Drain, and I'm like, oh, okay, that kind of really screws me over as a Dragon Link player because I need monster effects on the field. So we normal summon Black Metal, and we link off into Striker. That baits out the Azurine statue to negate the inherent summon, so that's fine. Now my Bestial Rebellion will be able to hit the field and not be negated by that Azurine statue because it's also a summon that does not start a chain link, which is what the Azurine negates. Now, since Azurine was sent to the graveyard, the Stellar is summoned to the field here. We're going to go ahead and summon the Rebellion, and I use the Druid Worm to force out the Woes. They're not going to be able to eclipse my field anymore since the Skill Drain is live, but I target the Stellar with the Druid Worm send so that they are forced to activate Woes, because if they let the Stellar get sent, they will no longer have the second material to synchro with. They go into Rusia and then go into a nice Royal Rare Silvera, but it's not going to have any effect. Not sure why they bothered to activate it. We're going to go ahead and activate Black Meteor, and I'm just going full beatdown mode because now I know this final card is a Toy Soldier, right? Totally didn't read fully the Toy Box, having the effect to send my monster when I attack or destroy my monster by sending a face down card they control. So they send the Toy Soldier activates in the graveyard, special summon, no effect since we're under Skill Drain, right? But if this card is normal or special summon, they can add a Toy Box, or if they control a Toy Box, add a level 4 light monster, which is crazy, right? They can add Rusia, Sylvie, they can add Primera, right? They can add more Toy Box cards, I guess, too. So yeah, pretty interesting engine that synergizes very nicely here. But we're just gonna go into beatdown mode, take out 2 of the monsters, leave them up with the Silvera, and then main phase 2 go into the Heretic Seal. So this is a card that can dodge Skill Drain. The opponent's only on 1 card, so hopefully I'll be able to play through whatever they have. I search Black Dragon off of the White Dragon being sent to the graveyard. But this is where the Toy Box engine is just crazy, right? They can reset these cards infinitely from the graveyard. So you can see how the Bestials should have really cooked the White Forest deck, but a misplay on my part. They're going to go ahead and summon back out the Rusia by returning the Silvera, and they opt to send the Toy Soldier, not the Skill Drain, because they can send for cost, so it's not affected by Skill Drain. And then they need to do that because they don't have the non-tuner on board, so they go ahead and get the Toy Soldier on board as a non-tuner so they can synchro into the Diabel, which does not get any effect since we're under Skill Drain. Just go Battle Phase and attempt to beat over my Heretic Seal, but we're going to go ahead, tribute Heretic Seal, play around the Skill Drain, return the Diabel, bring out another Druid Worm, and what's nice is now they don't have a White Forest Synchro to start recurring their White Forest effect monsters. We're going to go ahead and tribute off that Druid Worm to bring out the Rebellion, and then send the Rusia off of the Bestial Jewels from hitting the graveyard. Once again, special summon the Black Dragon by banishing White Dragon, and then normal summon Seyfried, and go ahead and go to the battle phase here. We know that we're going to get sent off or destroyed off of the toy box. That's fine, because I wanted them to send the toy tank since I topped at the Call by the Grave, and off of that toy tank being sent to the graveyard, we're going to go ahead and call by that. Since I saw them reset it from the graveyard, it was a pretty good indication that this is a 1-of, and they set the toy soldiers from the deck. That's a 3-of, since it has a much more relevant effect. Main phase 2, we're going to go into our second striker dragon by putting Seyfried in the graveyard. This is going to allow us to banish the Seyfried, recur back to Lubellion, and then use the Lubellion effect to search for a Joas Worm. So this is going to add a layer of interruption since we don't have any hand traps. Despite maxing and going +2 on it, we're still under this skill drain, and it's very oppressive because the opponent has a lot of advantage off of these toy box cards, right? They're going to go ahead now and only be able to reset one of the toy box cards. They pop skill drain and the soldier off of the toy box, so again, just multiple ways to out the skill drain, and this is going to trigger the toy soldier to summon itself. I can't use Magnamut on it since they don't have a card on field, a monster on field, to make this a quick effect. So they are going to be able to search the level 4 light, which is going to be the Sylvie here, and then they're going to go ahead and normal summon Sylvie, search out the Rhoda in Tales of the White Forest, activate Tails, and search out a Rusia, which is going to be able to special summon itself since I have a White Forest card on field. Then they're going to be able to use Rusia to send one of the 2 toy boxes to bring out the Esteller, and here I right-clicked by mistake. I wanted to Bestial Magnamut banish the Esteller, but in hindsight, it's probably better that I didn't, because allowing them to bring this to field might incentivize them to go for a Synchro 10. I do not want them to go for a Synchro 8, because a Synchro 8 would be a Diabell into recurring this skill drain to reset, right? And that would be a problem for me, but they do indeed go for a Synchro 10 Baron, which seems like a pretty good play, right? Omni-Negate, pop a card, clean up my field, I'm on 5 cards in my hand, but the big mistake that they made is you outed your own skill drain, and now Dragon Link can absolutely cook. So we're going to go ahead, draw Dragon Ravine for turn, activate Bestial Magnamut. I did not activate this after the Baron was summoned because I didn't want to risk them negating the Magnamut, and then during my standby phase returning the Baron and getting more plays on field. So I waited for my main phase 1, I banished the Esteller, they let it go through, they don't negate, and then I'm going to activate Magnamut to search during the end phase, go ahead tribute Magnamut to bring out Bestial Lubellion. Again, this does not start a chain. They did not opt to maxi when I activated the Magnamut effect to special summon, so they lost out on 2 draws here, and the reason is likely because they feared Gamma, but Gamma's at 1. I mean, yes, Dragon Link does play Gamma, but I mean, you're really playing around a 1-of, and you have Baron negate for the Gamma anyways. Regardless though, as long as they don't draw into an effect Veiler to negate my Verte, and we can use up the Baron negate, which as you can see they're using here on the Lubellion to prevent me from setting up the regain. The Verte play here is going to win me the game. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon Tracer, activate Dragon Ravine, pitch the Black Metal since we have all of our Red Eyes cards in rotation, send another Seyfried, no need to send the Abshrouder since we don't have any Striker Dragons to go into anymore, but banish the Seyfried to bring back the Lubellion once again, search for a Saurnier for no reason whatsoever, because we're going to use Tracer to pop the Dragon Ravine. You can argue that I probably just should have summoned the Saurnier and left the Dragon Ravine up just in case, so that was another misplay on my part, but we're on 20 seconds here, so I gotta think fast. Go into the Verte, give them a draw 2 off this Maxi, hopefully no Veiler, and we are good to go. No Veiler comes through. I am just clicking like mad because I'm on 20 seconds, and I meant to click the summon of the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but instead I clicked the summon of the Saurnier, so I give my opponent another draw here, but at this point, you know, things are resolving now, so we should be safe to go into this Dragoon by banishing a Bestial Joas Worm and the Dark Magician, activate Dragoon now to pop the Baron to floor, and again, Dragoon is safe because it can't be targeted, can't be destroyed, and I have a negate on it, so even if the opponent do something relevant, I would be able to negate it with the Dragoon. Regardless though, we're able to take that one after going second, playing through an oppressive board. Yes, we did Max C, but Dragon Link has a lot of answers, assuming you can actually play the game.